Hello and welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me is the person I think who is out of this world,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a two-player perspective and accessibility for Beyond the Sun. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. Beyond the Sun is a space civilization game in which players collectively decide the technological progress of humankind at the dawn of the spacefaring era, while competing against each other to be the leading faction in economic development, science, and galactic influence. The game is played over a variable number of rounds until a number of game end achievements are collectively claimed by the players, and the winner is the faction with the most victory points. So, Will, how does the game change for two players?
So the instructions for a two-player game all have to do with setup, and one thing having to do with gameplay. And this game has a setup sheet,
Yes.
and on the back of it is set up for 2 and 3 players. So for 2 players, there's the exploration board. That's where all the planets are. One side is for 3 and 4 players. The other side is for 2 players. So you'll use that side. And then there's going to be some basic actions on a spacefaring section of the board where the technologies are. This is a completely different board. They give you tiles for overlays for this section, so you'll use the 2-player one for that. Then there are 4 factions in the game. They have a basic version and an advanced version. For 2 players, one of those factions is not available. It's balanced for more players.
Yes.
So you can't use that. Now the actual gameplay mechanic is the number of achievements that need to be reached before the game ends. And for 2 players, it's 3. Everything else, higher player counts, is more achievements.
Yeah.
And there is no bot. Even though Nanaman was nice enough to dress up in his Crescent Moon costume.
All right, so issues we found in a 2-player game. Well, because there's only 2 players unlocking all the things in the game, you're not going to see a lot of technology in any one game. So that might be slightly disappointing. However, on the other side,
it has a lot of replayability. Because you're not unlocking everything all in one game, there's a lot more for you to see. Now, there are going to be technologies that will be used in every game, because it's made for the balancing of certain mechanics throughout to make sure that you can continue playing the game.
Yes.
But the rest of it is randomized. And you do have randomization even in other player counts. It's just fewer players means there's fewer things being explored.
Right. And the other thing that it does well, in our opinion, is that it's a little less hectic and there's less competition on the exploration board. Yes, there's a side that's for the 2 players and then the other side is 3 and 4, so it has more planets and stuff. But even there, it's not that many more, so you're going to have that much more competition on the other side with higher player count.
Right.
Okay. Accessibility. So I think one of the worst things is the victory point symbol. Not only is it color choice poor, as kind of a red on black, but it's like glows, and
I thought it was a dark blue.
Was it a dark blue? Maybe it's a dark blue. Yeah. It's 2 colors that don't work too really well, but the other thing is it's just so obscured. You can't see the number from a distance because all you see is the outline of the shape of the symbol. So all the cards that have that on there, when you need to be able to see from a distance what the victory point value is, you're most likely going to have to pick up that card to see it.
I wonder if they did that because you really only care about points at the end of the game, so it obscures victory.
Yeah, but when you're going after something, like especially on the planets, you
want to make choices that are meaningful.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's still information to make a decision on.
Yeah.
So speaking of the planets, the game feels kind of like it's split in 2 different graphic designs. And when it comes to the planets, they did full art. So you have all this glow effects and space and stars and planets, and it really pops, but it makes reading information off of those cards more challenging because there's not a good contrast between everything.
And I don't think they did a card anatomy for the planets.
I know, I think in the rules they did go over it.
Okay. Well, they talked about what's on it.
Yes.
And you sussed it out from...
Yeah, there's not that many different things on the planet card.
Yeah.
But it's more of, since all these things are laid out on the table in front of you, most of it you can't read at a distance. And the problem with the planet cards is stuff starts getting put on the cards, so they're not as easy to pick up and look at.
Right.
And then otherwise, this is a heavier game. So this is going to be a bit more cognitively challenging to learn and to play. Although we feel that, once you can get the learning down, it's not the hardest game to play.
I would put it probably on the heavier side of a medium weight game.
Yes. Yeah.
Not full heavy. Like, what was it? On Mars?
Oh, yeah. On Mars. Yeah, that's on the heavy side of things.
In fact, I think we traded a Lacerda game for this one, so
oh yeah,
check that. Yeah, we'll talk more about that on the review.
Yes. So what this does right is the other half of the game, which is not the planetary exploration board, the technology side. Everything is really simple. It's very clean graphic design. They made it very super easy to read. It's all black text on a white background. Some people are probably going to say it looks boring, but because of the intensity of how much information is there, it needs to be that way, or it would be very difficult to play the game.
Yeah, I could definitely see people going, I can't play this game because it's too busy. Because we've seen that with, there was a book game that we were almost going to get, and it had a lot of graphic designs to make it look very thematic, but at the same time, it was too hard to see.
Yeah, there's a certain point where you need to have usability in your game as a priority over looking good.
Yeah, they definitely prioritized usability when it comes to the technology, which is fantastic since it's probably the most intricate thing about the game.
Definitely. And there are dual layer boards. They are not the best. They're very shallow. So for the most part, they will keep pieces in place. They're still easy to knock things out of place. But I think it's better to have it than not have it.
Yeah.
Like if they were to do a second edition where they actually improve some things, that's one of those things that would be nice to be improved.
Well, I still found with the shallowness, it was something I could feel my board, figure out what's there, and not knock things around.
That's a good point.
It was just enough to be useful.
Yep. And so all the symbols, even on the planet side, they're all distinct and unique. So you're never going to get iconography mixed up. It's just some of it might be a little hard to read.
Right.
Now, player colors. We think most people are not going to have any problems with these. It's a light blue, lavender, orange, which is really in your face, and white. And so if anybody has any problems with the lavender and the light blue, then just let them pick one of the other colors or whatever it is. If someone has some colorblind accessibility challenges, let them pick their player pieces first, because they will need to put their player pieces on the exploration board and the achievement cards. And so you do need to be able to see the difference.
Yeah, as well as the tech board.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And the tech
In fact,
board.
I think that's where you're going to have the most references. Like, which tech did I reference, or which ones did I research again?
Yeah.
Look at them and like, oh, I have people there, and there. Okay, I know what I have.
Right. I'm just glad that they actually included white, because that's a color for some reason that just doesn't get used a lot, but is probably one of the most accessible colors to have.
Yeah.
But anyways. And last but not least, the whole game is open information. So if anybody is having any challenges with anything, hopefully someone around the table will be able to help.
Yeah, no secret goals.
Nope, no secret goals. All right then, conclusion.
For 2 players.
I think so, yes. I, for me, don't like the high competition in the higher player count games. So I really do appreciate it at the 2-player count.
Yeah, me too. I think this is one of those games I think I'd prefer 2 players.
Yeah.
Because I want a slightly chill vibe coming off of it, rather than a hectic one.
Agreed.
Though it can deliver on the hectic if you enjoy that. Just know that you're probably going to need more players to get that feeling.
Yep.
But 2 players, it feels chill while at the same time very, very deep.
Yes, agreed.
Accessibility.
I think so, yes. Again, there's some minor issues, but I don't think anything that will stop someone from playing.
Yeah, agreed. Accessibility wise, It's actually nice to feel a lot of these components because they actually do use thick components for the disc, shapes, the resource cubes. The resource cubes are actually pretty cool. We'll cover that again in the review.
Right.
But everything feels nice to handle, and having even that shallow bit of dual layer board is nice to have, so I know where everything is fitting on my board.
It's better than not having it, for sure. All right, then.
All right, Sarah, when it comes to space, what do you think is missing from this game?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine some people would say that it's missing more of the combat stuff, but I don't particularly care for combat in my games.
I think this game is missing the anomalies.
Anomalies?
When you go out into space and explore, you'll run across black holes and weird asteroids and mysterious stuff. They have the events in the technology. I just kind of wish they had events in the exploration.
That would be cool.
Yes. So there you have it. And why would you ever roll with just one when you can be
rolling with two?
And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two. That's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.